الله أكبر.
حي على الصلاة.
الله أكبر.
Arise, giving the highest of praise to the great God Allah, Father of the universe, and give the highest of honors to his holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali, Islam. I'd like to extend those honors to the harbinger, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, who did warn and stir up the nations. I extend those honors to the Moorish Science Temple of America, subordinate temple number 19. I extend honors to the office of the Grand Governor, Sheikh Heru Ranisa-El, his lovely wife. I extend those honors to the chairman, my brother Rashid Ibn Halim Bey, extend honors to the secretary, extend honors to the Vanguard staff, all the ills and days and the visitors. Islam. The Moorish Science Temple of America, according to Act 6, is charged with teaching our people their nationality. Act 6 of the Divine Constitution and Bylaws states, with us all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are not Negroes, know that they are part and partial of the said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Jew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwest and southwestern shores of Africa. Islam. So that last statement, the Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. So we're descendants of the ancient Moabites, but what is that saying exactly? All right. One of the records, a very popular record of the Moabites can be found in the Holy Bible, and it discusses the birth of Moab. And Moab is the son of Lot. Noble Jew Ali has been quoted as stating, "Do not throw away your Bibles." All right. That's not the entire quote, but why would he say, "Don't throw away your Bibles"? Or why were Moors throwing away their Bibles?
Come on.
Because we had to deal with stories such as the story of Moab and how he was conceived. All right. Moab was conceived in the Old Testament, according to this scripture, by incest. After his father Lot, was leaving Sodom, Lot's wife ended up turning into a pillar of salt because she looked back. And other records state that she didn't look back. She was just a bad woman who she just wanted to stay amongst the sin. And that his daughters got him drunk, and you know the story. And we'll look at chapter 47, and it also talks about the Canaanites. Anyone who knows about Canaan in the Old Testament, Canaan was cursed. He was cursed by the Most High because he chastised his father to his brothers after he had seen him naked. So with stories like these, that will make you want to throw this away. But we can still learn from this, all right? And it's already been proven that there's, many inaccuracies with this text. But anyway, let's get to Moab. Well, let's get to Lot. So to get to Lot, I think it's a good idea to start in Genesis chapter 10, where it takes us to the sons of Noah. You have Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right. Ham had 4 sons. There's Cush, Mizraim, Put, and don't say it. Cush, Mizraim, Put, and I named them already?
Yes. In your opening.
Sure did. How could I forget it? All right. So, Lot actually is Abraham's nephew. Abraham descends out of Eber. Some people think that Hebrew comes from this, but there's also evidence that Hebrew comes from Iberi, which means those who have crossed over, or those from the other side. And excuse my back. And before we go further on that, let's one other thing. Moab was married to a Canaanite. His wife was a Canaanite. And that is not spelled correctly. All right, let's look at chapter 47 real quick. Chapter 47 in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The inhabitants of Africa are the descendants of the ancient Canaanites from the land of Canaan. Old man Cush and his family are the first inhabitants of Africa who came from the land of Canaan. His father Ham and his family were second. Then came the word Ethiopia, which means the demarcation line of the dominion of Amexem, the first true and divine name of Africa, the dividing of the land between the father and son. The dominion of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, and northwest and southwest was his father's dominion of Africa. In later years, many of their brethren from Asia and the Holy Lands joined them. The Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit northwest Africa, they were the founders and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who sojourned from the land of Canaan seeking new homes. So, the prophet knew what he was doing when he was writing chapter 47, because when you look a little closer at this, we'll start with, all right, we know about the land of Canaan, which is that, that piece on the east side of Africa. Foot or Put, also known as Libya. All right? Anybody know what another name for Libya that was interchangeable with Libya anciently? Africa. Mizraim, where am I going with this sheet? All right? Now today, there's a land in East Africa. We know Ethiopia means the demarcation line of the dominion of Amexem, but many people associate Cush with Ethiopia. All right? Now, Lot, who is Moab's father, he's Moab's father, all right? And he married a Canaanite. So don't get sucked into these arguments with who is who and all this division, because everyone mixed up anyway. We have all the blood in us.
That's right.
We have the blood of the Moabites, the Canaanites, even the Israelites. Those are our ancestors. Any questions so far on that? Because I'm going to hop on to something else. I'm going to hop on to the origin of Christianity.
That's right.
All right. Let's look at chapter 46. The foundation of Christianity began in Rome. The Roman nations founded the first church, of whom crucified Jesus of Nazareth for seeking to redeem his people from under the Roman yoke and law. Jesus himself was of the true blood of the ancient Canaanites and Moabites and the inhabitants of Africa. Seeking to redeem his people in those days from the pressure of the pale-skinned nations of Europe, Rome crucified him according to their law. Then Europe had peace for a long time until Muhammad I came upon the scene and fulfilled the works of Jesus of Nazareth. Also, what I would like to mention, the lineage of our brother Jesus, or that we call Yahshua. Some of the great fathers of his lineage. Boaz by Ruth the Moabitess. All right. And many people, which I forgot to mention, Amorites come out of Canaan. All right. When you get a chance, look up Rahab, who's also in that one of Jesus's foremothers. All right. Rahab was the sister who assisted the Israelites when they went into Jericho. Okay, beginning of Christianity. So Christianity began in Rome. All right. This is why we teach people our nationality and our divine creed, and that quality of character which arises from the fact that one belongs to a nation or a state. All right, because we have to come out of her, my people. All right. Christianity was founded for the Europeans' earthly salvation, but in Islam was founded for our earthly and our divine salvation and our eternal salvation. So I'm going to just read a little bit on Constantine and the Byzantine, and then I'll yield the floor. Constantine, it says Roman emperors. Constantine the First, or Constantine the Great, was born in Isis, the son of Constantius I and Saint Helena. When Constantius died at York in 306, his soldiers proclaimed Constantine emperor, but much rivalry for the vacated office ensued. Before the battle at the Mulvian Bridge near Rome in 312, Constantine, who was already sympathetic toward Christianity, is said to have seen in the sky a flaming cross at the sign by which he would conquer. He adopted the cross and was victorious. The battle is regarded as the turning point for Christianity. Constantine ruled in the west and Licinius in the east as emperors until they fell out in 324. Licinius lost his life in the struggle, leaving Constantine sole emperor. In a reign of peace, Constantine rebuilt the empire on a basis of absolutism. In 325, he convened the epoch-making Council of Nicaea. In 330, he moved the capital to Constantinople, a city dedicated to the Virgin. As the founder of the Christian Empire.
Come on.
All right, so who was the founder of the Christian Empire? What did the prophet say? Christianity began where?
Rome.
It began in Rome. All right. Who was the founder of the Christian Empire, as we just stated? And this is the concise Columbia Encyclopedia. This isn't, just somebody just throwing something together and I'm giving it to you. This is supposedly a reputable source.
Long one.
All right.
It's not Wikipedia.
It's not Wikipedia, bro. It's not Wikipedia. Constantine. All right. As founder of the Christian Empire, Constantine began a new era. He was baptized on his deathbed. Constantine II was the son of Constantine. When the empire was divided at his father's death in 337, he received Britain, Gaul, and Spain. Feeling cheated, he warred with his brother Constans I. He was killed while invading Italy. Now we know the names back in the 300s were different. There was no Spain, or Britain back then.
That's right.
All right. And then the next says Constantine, and then it talks about the Byzantine Empire. So then that takes me to Byzantine. All right. Byzantine Empire. Successor state to the Roman Empire. It was named for ancient Byzantium, which Constantine I rebuilt in AD 330 as his capital, Constantinople. Then it goes on about how, there were wars, between the Lombards and the Arab nations and the Moors. Then we're going to get, I'm just skipping down. Gradually, however, the empire was encircled by the Ottoman Turks, and despite a desperate defense under Constantine XI, Constantinople fell 1453 to Muhammad II.
It's not enough.
The modern era is traditionally reckoned from that date. What does that remind you of? All right. When was the head of Satan taken off?
1453. Byzantine.
When was the head of what? Who taken off?
Satan.
Satan.
And we know Satan means adversary. I'm not trying to spook anybody out, but that's the measure that our prophets bring into us.
Praise God.
All right.
Allahu Akbar.
حي على الصلاة
Allahu Akbar.